Hey everybody, this is Kristen from WordStream by Local IQ, and in this video, we're going to be talking about on-page SEO. Specifically, I'm going to define on-page SEO and then share a 10-step checklist you can use to rank higher on Google, get more traffic to your site, increase your online presence, get that visibility that you need on the search engine results pages to build trust with your customers, get more of those customers, and keep them coming back. I'll also be sharing some tools you can use in the process. So what is on-page SEO? For any page or post you see ranking on Google, you might consider that brand or business to be lucky, but there's actually a lot of legwork that goes on behind the scenes to make this possible. And this legwork is called SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it has three sort of core components. So on-page SEO refers to the optimizations that you would make on a particular page to get that page to rank higher and get more traffic to your site. Off-page SEO refers to the optimizations you would make on other pages on your site or even on other sites to promote that page that you are trying to get to rank. And then technical SEO refers to typically the broader optimizations you make on your site as a whole to improve its performance on search engines. So that would refer to page speed, site structure, sitemaps, security, its ability to be indexed on Google. Is very technical, hence the term technical SEO. So back to on-page SEO. The 10 steps I'm going to cover in this video are keyword research, content quality, keyword placement, images, title, headings, meta description, links, URL, and content freshness. So number one, identify your target keyword. You can't rank on Google if you don't tell Google what you want to rank for. And this is where keyword targeting comes into play. Keywords are the words and phrases that people type into search engines to get the information that they're looking for. And you can use keyword research tools to see how many searches a particular term gets per month and also how hard it is to rank for that term. And the important thing to know is that you want to target one keyword per page on your site or per blog post. Step 2 is to create quality content around that keyword. What is quality content? Well, a lot of things, but here's a few pointers. The first thing is it contains the information that a person is looking for when they search that keyword in Google. So once you decide on the keyword, actually search it to see what comes up. So let's say I want to write a blog post targeting the keyword, how to do affiliate marketing. When I search it, I see how to get started. I see beginners here, how to become beginners, how to get started. So clearly the intent of this keyword is people looking to get into affiliate marketing. So if I were to decide, all right, I'm going to target this keyword and I'm going to write a post, how to do affiliate marketing, 5 advanced strategies to make millions. This post is not likely to rank on Google because Google can tell that the people that are typing in this keyword aren't looking for advanced strategies. They're looking for beginner's guides. Secondly, your content delivers on the promise of its title. Let's say I'm really adamant about these advanced affiliate marketing strategies and I put them into a blog post, but I title the post Affiliate Marketing for Beginners. When people click on that and they go to the post and they see that it's a bunch of stuff that they don't understand, they're going to exit quickly and Google will pick up on this and my ranking will go down. So make sure that what you are promising is what you are delivering in your content. Third, your post provides thorough and accurate information on the topic. So no fluff content, which is just a lot of words that don't say anything at all really. Ideally, aim for at least 1,500 words, even in the 2,000-2,500 word range. And lastly, it delivers this trustworthy, in-depth, intent-matched content in an organized and readable manner. So it's not just a bunch of text on a screen, it's broken up into paragraphs, it has images, it has headings and very clear sections. And it also sounds like a human being wrote it. Step 3 is keyword placement. So once you have determined the keyword you want to target and then created quality, fluff-free content around that keyword, now it's time to make sure the keyword is in very specific spots on your page, which will indicate to Google that this is what your page is about and this is what you want to rank for. So there's actually 10 places to have your keyword: the title, the first 100 words of the post, the H2 heading, the image alt text and file name, naturally in the body of the content. So if you are writing the post like a human being, then this shouldn't be a problem. You want it in the title tag, which is the title that appears on the Google search engine results page, the URL of the page, and the meta description. And then number 10 isn't really an on-page location, but it's still worth mentioning. When you are linking to this page from other pages on your site, you'll want to make sure that the anchor text that you use to link to it contains the keyword. And if you were confused by any of the terms that I use, like alt text and H1 and H2, don't worry, we're going to cover that in the rest of this video. Step 4 is image optimization. So images in and of themselves are an on-page SEO optimization because they help to break up the text on the page, they increase the appeal of the page and can keep users engaged a little bit longer. And Google pays attention to how long people are spending on a page. But there's more to images than meets the eye, and they can actually do more harm than good if you don't optimize them. And there are 4 things to pay attention to with image optimization for on-page SEO. The first is to save your image with the keyword in the file name. So instead of just keeping it as screenshot 1 with a timestamp on it or image 1, include the keyword in there with another descriptor of what it is, and make sure that instead of spaces, you use dashes. The second thing you want to do is compress your images. So this just means making the size of the image smaller without sacrificing quality. And by size, I'm referring to the file size and not the dimensions. The larger the image file size, the longer it's going to take to load, which is going to slow down the speed of your page. And as we know, page speed is a major ranking factor. So what you'll want to do is use a image compression tool. And the last optimization, which is the most important, is to include alt text. Now, alt text is just the text alternative of an image. What this does is when Google crawls the page, it's not going to see the images on the page. Instead, it'll see that little piece of alt text that tells what the image is about. So if you leave it blank, Google has no way of knowing that the image that you have placed on your page is relevant to the keyword that you're targeting. It's also important because this makes your content more accessible. So you'll want to make sure that you give every image alt text and that it contains the keyword that you're targeting. And one other thing I actually forgot to mention is to make sure that your images don't replace important text on the page. There's nothing wrong with putting images of text on your site, but if that text is relevant to the keyword that you're targeting, you'll want to make sure that you have that in the post as text itself. So if it ends up being redundant, you might want to adjust what the image looks like. Step 5 is title optimization. Now, for any given page or post, it actually will have 2 titles. The first is the SEO title, and this is the title that appears on the actual search engine results page. The H1 title is the title that appears on the page itself when you click into it. Now, for both of these, they should contain the keyword. They don't have to be different either, but the reason why they're different for this post is because your SEO title needs to be 60 characters or less. If it's more than that, it'll get cut off. So with your H1 title, you have a little bit more room to be creative if you want to be. And in general, a good headline follows 3 core sort of principles. The first is that it conveys value. If you were writing a post on yoga poses, for example, something like 7 great yoga poses doesn't really give the reader a reason to click. If it was something like 7 yoga poses to improve sleep, now there's something more specific and a more concrete value that the reader can get out of the post. The second is that it doesn't overpromise. So don't call something an ultimate guide if it's not actually an ultimate guide. And third, it's interesting. So this doesn't mean using all caps or really extreme words or exclamation points. It just means giving it a little bit of a pop to make it stand out. 7 yoga poses to improve sleep isn't bad, but if I wanted to spice it up a little bit, I wouldn't go so extreme with something like 7 amazing yoga poses that'll put you in a coma. That's just too extreme. That's actually a really extreme example of an extreme title, but something a little different might be 7 yoga poses for a truly tranquil sleep. Step 6 is your headings. So like I said earlier, good quality content is organized into clear and concrete sections. And the way that we do that is by assigning headings to our content. So a person isn't actually going to click on your post and then read it from top to bottom. Think about it. When you click on a post or a page from the SERP, chances are you open it and you do a quick scan to see, okay, does this post contain the information that I'm looking for? So this is what your headings do. They help your reader to see that, okay, they're in the right place and your post is going to answer their question. And this is also really important for Google because it'll convey to Google the information on the page and also the hierarchy of that information. But the thing is, just like Google can't see images, it also can't see that we have a really big heading here for our H1 title and a slightly big H2 heading here and then smaller headings. Google can't see that. Instead, Google reads heading tags, and that's what these are here on the left. So like I said earlier, the title of your page is actually your H1 heading. Your H2 heading, you could consider those like the main headings or even like the chapter titles of a page. Ideally, you should go for 2 H2 headings that contain your keyword. And this is pretty easy, right? So whatever you're writing about in your blog, you can have the first H2 can be what is or why it's important. And then at the end, instead of conclusion or wrap up, you can mention the keyword again. And depending on how long your content is and how many different sections you have, you might have several other H2s. They don't necessarily have to contain the keyword, but if you have the opportunity to add it in, great. H3s are the points that you make within your H2 concepts, and then H4, H5, H6 goes down from there. Not every page or post uses those H4, 5, 6. Sometimes they don't even have H3s in them. The ones that you want to make sure you hit are the H1. Make sure you have only one of those per page, and then have those 2 H2s in there. So this is what Google is seeing, and this is what Google will use to determine what is the most important information on the page. Now, step 7 is your meta description. So just like the meta title is the title that appears on the search engine results page, the meta description is the description that appears just below it. So the first thing you'll notice is that it contains the keyword. My keyword is power words. And you'll also notice that instead of just saying, this post contains over 350 power words, blah, 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 it actually starts off with an actionable statement. It says, write more memorable marketing copy with this list of over 350 power words. So what I've done there is I have conveyed value right off the bat, and I've made it actionable by starting it off with a verb. And the last thing is to keep it between 155 and 160 characters. Step 8 is your URL. This is pretty quick. You want to make sure you have the keyword in the URL and that it's short. Let's say I have this title here. It's pretty long. The entire title got assigned into the URL. So I'd want to make sure that is short. Oftentimes, just the keyword itself will suffice. And now you have a nice, clean URL. Step 9 are your links. For any page or post on your site, there are 2 links that you can put in there. External links link out to other pages on other websites. For on-page SEO, you ideally want to link out to 2 to 3 high-quality websites from your post that are related to the keyword that you're targeting. Internal links are the ones that link to other pages on your site. There isn't really a minimum or maximum. What's more important to think about is that when you add a link to a page on your site to the one that you want to rank, that anchor text that you use contains the keyword, like I talked about earlier. And finally, we have content freshness. So even if your topics are evergreen, You'll want to make sure that you are going in and updating your content periodically. So this could mean just adding a few bits of new information, adding some links to newer posts that you've created, updating images and screenshots, checking to see if there are any broken links or images, just little tweaks like that to keep the content fresh. This will help to preserve the content's quality and its value over time. And that is your 10-step on-page SEO checklist. Let's finish off with a recap. We have keyword targeting, content quality, keyword placement, images, titles, headings, meta description, URL, links, and then finally, content quality. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to check out the resources in the description, and for more tips on SEO, PPC, social media, email, anything digital marketing related, head to the WordStream blog at wordstream.com/blog, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tips and tutorials as they come out. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.